Hey yogi, welcome to class. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rhi, this is Drake, and if you are returning, welcome back. We are stoked to practice with you again. Before we jump into this little vinyasa practice, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. It just helps Drakey and I to grow in the YouTube universe. That being said, I don't think we're going to need any props for today, but I think if you know you like to practice with blocks, I would always recommend that. So, you know, if you like to have them, grab them now. This class is going to be really all about trying to activate through the legs, something that I am useless at doing myself. So let's see how this one goes. So we're going to start this one in a child's pose. So come to a child's pose at the back of your mat, roughly, and take the knees nice and wide. Let the big toes touch. A little bit different from what maybe is a traditional balasana for you, a child's pose. I want to keep the tailbone really lifted here. So normally we would kind of round down and have kind of the tailbone work into tuck. For this one, just try and keep it lifted or neutral. So you're going to be a little bit more elevated. So we just really want to start to kind of get into the inner groins. And you can just let the head hang. Maybe you can walk the feet out, the hands out a little bit. But we want this to kind of feel quite active. So it's not a typical passive start to the practice. You want to be really trying to press those knees apart, spread the sit bones. Forearms can be down, or you can reach the arms forward. Let your gaze be soft here, even though potentially other parts of you are not soft. They're working hard. And just allow yourself a couple of moments to arrive at the practice, arrive on your beginning of your journey. From here, start to gently sway forward and back. You can be on the forearms for this. You can come onto the fingertips. We're just trying to keep the spine nice and kind of neutral here. So you really want to be using the fingers to pull you forwards and back. And just notice how this feels. Then come down into your more traditional balasana, so you can let the butt seek the heels. You can reach the fingertips forward, let the head hang heavy. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Imagine you could send that inhale all the way down into those big toes that may or may not be touching. And as you exhale, see if you can gently soften. Inhale, fill your body through the nose, the throat, the lungs, the belly, the hips, the legs, the toes. And exhale, let it go. One more just like that. Inhale through your nose. Try to take on as much air as you possibly can. Send it all the way down, down deep inside of you, right to the bottom. And exhale. Nice. From here, roll yourself forward into a tabletop. So shift yourself around to make that happen. And we'll get straight into just circling over the wrists here. So circle the shoulders over the wrists one way and the other way. And just, you know, do whatever feels nice here. Whilst this is obviously intended to be a bit of a wrist warm up, feel free to let the spine, the hips, the head, the neck get involved. Kind of want this to be a little bit of a wake up for everything. Even the toes, you can really dig them in as you move around, gripping with the fingers. And then from here back onto the forearms. So come down onto the forearms. We'll take a forearm cat-cow. So as you inhale, start to drop your belly, start to pull your chest through your arms and gently lift. Lift the tailbone as high as it will go. As you exhale, we'll start at the tailbone. So as you exhale, everything stays the same. The tailbone starts to tuck, 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 tuck. When you get to a certain point, then you're going to start to tuck the mid back. Flex through the spine. When you can't go anymore, the head will drop. Come into this forearm cat pose. As you inhale, slowly start from the tailbone again. So the tailbone will lift, the pelvis will lift. From here, then we'll drop the belly. Then we'll start to push out of the forearms, out of the shoulders to lift the chest. Nice. Exhale, reverse it. Tailbone tucks, tuck, 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 tuck. Then the mid back. Then you're going to push into the shoulders. The head, the neck will drop. Cat pose. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Keep everything the same. Lift, lift, lift. Drop the belly now. Now start to push the shoulders up and out of the earth so you can lift the head. Last time, exhale, cat, so tuck the tailbone, tuck it in, tuck, 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 tuck. And if you're someone that struggles to tuck the tailbone like me, this might be a lot of work. Keep working in the low abs. Now you're going to push through your shoulders, protract, 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 chin to chest, and release. Nice. Whew. Shake that out. So yeah, if you're somebody that lives in a bit of anterior tilt, so you kind of live in this world rather than in this world, tuck-in can be intense or just challenging. So just notice what shows up for you when you ask very specific things of your body. It's usually interesting. Then from here, on the forearms, put the left hand roughly underneath your left shoulder and then lift the left knee off. Take the left leg out to the side here. So you want to try as much as you can not to sort of career off to the right. That's why we've got the forearm down to help us. So you can just lift that leg and point the toes. And then we're just going to lower and lift. Lower and lift. Feel your glute working on that left side to keep you in this place. Keep lowering and lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, hold on 1, hold it here, start to take some circles, try to make them smooth. Notice if your circles are a bit like mine and a bit more like squares, but be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower it down. Nice. Plant the foot down, press into the outer blade of the foot. You can come up onto the fingertips here. We're just going to rock backwards and forwards. And this might feel really intense. It might feel like not too much. So just notice playing with the tailbone, tucking and untucking. And then come back. Bring that left knee back under you. Plant the left forearm down. Right hand, in fact, I'm going to move over a bit. Right hand is going to go under your shoulder. And then again, we're going to open up to the right with that right leg. So you want that right thigh bone coming sort of directly out of the hip socket as much in a 90-degree angle with the body as you can. So point the toes, make the legs nice and active. I am going to have to move off here because I am kicking the radiator. And then we'll lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Notice if one side can just give you more than the other. Very common. Maybe you already know this about your body. Maybe today is the first time you're like, okay, my right hip doesn't move as much as my left. Hold it on the next one and then start to circle. We're circling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Bend that knee, bring it back in. Notice if the legs already feel a little bit alive here. And then from here, tuck the toes, lift your hips, find Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. And as always, feel free to just sway this one out. Notice if you've got any tension that you've built up a little bit there in those hip sockets. Feel free to just find some freedom. Find some movement that feels nice. Cool, and then from here, come high onto the ball of the toes. Bend the knees deeply. As you do so, tuck the tailbone. And then as you inhale, roll through. Come into your high plank pose. As you exhale, bend the knees. Think cow pose with the spine. Roll back to down dog. High on the ball of the toes. Bend the knees. As you inhale, think cat pose. So rolling through, tucking that tailbone like we did before. Find your high plank pose. Bend the knees, push back, really arch through the back here. Nice, one more of those. Inhale, lift heels, bend knees deeply. As you exhale, tuck that tailbone, roll forward. High plank, bend the knees, push back, lift the chest. Down dog, nice. From here, lift your right leg nice and high. Take a 3-leg dog here. Really point or flex the toes, but either way we want them active. Then bend your right knee so it comes into your chest. Come high onto the ball of those left toes. Then deeply bend the left knee to spring you forward. That right foot lands at the top of the mat. You want the right foot on the inside of the right thumb, and all the way through the practice today, I want you to think about keeping the hands grounded. So if you're someone that usually would lift onto the fingertips to make that happen, try not to today. Even if you don't get as far, even if you get halfway up the mat and you then need to move, it's just we want to work to make that leg active. We want that hip to be active. So if we keep the hands grounded, we're just creating a smaller window and a bigger challenge. And, you know, eventually that challenge becomes easier. So we'll do that again just to get that set. So right leg will lift high, 3-leg dog. You want to squeeze your right glute here. Come high onto the ball of the left toes. You're going to bend the right knee as tightly into the chest as you can, pushing through the upper back. And then bend the left knee. This is the spring. Come forward, right foot next to the right thumb. From here, come high onto the fingertips and sway forwards and back. And oftentimes, we will have a pattern that we've just kind of, I don't know, it's just been ingrained in us. So, you know, you potentially can step to the top of the mat without lifting the hands, but it's habit. And we have so many of those in our practice. I have a ton. So, you know, if that feels a bit awkward, just know that once you do that a few times, it won't. So think about giving that a bit of your focus and your attention today. Keep swaying forwards and back. And then from here, stay static. Pull that right thigh bone back into its socket. Plug into that left big toe. We're going to lower and rise. Lower and rise. Lower and rise. So that left knee is bending and lifting. Rhi Drake. Bending and lifting. Bending and lifting. Nice. Stay plugging into that left big toe. Keep your left hand down. Sweep that right arm open. Take a bit of a twist here, but keep plugging the right thigh bone back. Don't let it lose connection. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, open up, take a twist. Feel it in the shoulder, feel it in the hip. Exhale, take it down. Nice. From here, plug into both big toes. Reach both arms forward. Now keep plugging that right thigh bone back. Keep sending the left thigh bone forward. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. On one, plant the hands. Step that right foot all the way back up to a 3-leg dog. Keep it lifted or lower it, but we're rolling through into high plank, and we'll take a push-up. And then keep that leg lifted. Bring it all the way back up. From here, plant that right foot down. Let's do that on the left side. So left leg will lift. 3-leg dog. Really point and activate the leg here. Come high onto the ball of your right toes. Drive that left knee into your chest. Puff through the shoulders. Bend the right knee. Step forward. Left foot comes to the inside of that left thumb. Nice. From here, come onto the fingertips, start to sway forward and back, really plugging into that back thumb, that back toe. I always think of big toes as like the thumbs of your feet, which I guess they are, but I say it so many times when I cue them, it's a little bit ridiculous. Sway forward and back here. Try to keep the hips level. Try to make the movement come kind of from that back foot. And then come to stillness. Plug your left thigh bone back, plug your right thigh bone forward. We bend the right knee and lift. Bend and lift. Keep squeezing the glutes. You're super active in the legs here. Both legs are active. The left foot is dragging back under you. The right leg is doing more work. Nice. Hold it there. Plug the left thigh bone back, plant the right hand, inhale to spin open. Try to keep the movement coming from the mid back and not from the hip. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open. Exhale, lower. Nice. Square yourself off so you can inhale to lift. So pull that left thigh bone back. Keep high onto your ball of the right toes. Plug the right thigh bone forward. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower down on 1. Gently take that left foot back, 3-leg dog. On your inhale, either keep it lifted or lower it, roll forward, take the push-up. Keep the leg lifted, keep active with it, send it back, and then drop the left toes to the mat. Right leg high, 3-leg dog. Think about that compression, think about keeping the leg active. High onto the left toes. Drive that right knee in, then bend your left knee to spring you forward, right foot to right thumb. Keep the back leg lifted. We'll go straight into those lift and lowers. Keep plugging the right thigh bone back. You're doing great for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it lifted. Rise up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1. Lean over that right leg. See if you can just drag your left knee into your chest to drop your left foot. Inhale to halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Really spread the sit bones wide here. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Reach your arms up all the way. Fingertips to the ceiling, drishti lift. Exhale, hands through the center line. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Scoop that energy up towards you. Exhale, pull that energy back down to you. Take the hands into Tadasana, palms facing forward to receive. Think about being active here. So come to a neutral stance by tucking your tailbone ever so gently. Think about lifting the kneecaps. Think about driving up through the arches of your feet. Feel alive here. This is an active position. You can close the eyes if it feels good. Take a deep inhale. Sigh it out, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale. The weight is going to stay into that right leg. Drive your left knee into your chest. Use your hands initially and really try to find a bit of balance here, a bit of buoyancy through the right leg. So feel free to kind of just bounce left to right, up and down. Really test that right foot because you want to come to stillness and feel like I got it, I'm grounded. So have a little bit of the moment where Maybe you don't got it. And then come to stillness. Drive that left knee into the chest. Reach your arms up alongside your ears. Inhale here. Exhale, flex the foot, kick the left foot away. And then slowly start to swing it back like a pendulum. The right knee bends. Keep bending it. Come into traditional warrior 3, straight leg. And then rebend. Crouching warrior. Inhale. Straighten. Exhale. What's happening with that left foot? Keep it active. Keep the leg and the glute working. Keep inhaling and exhaling as you lift and lower. From here, drop the left toes down gently. Drop the hands down. Come into 3-leg dog. The right leg will reach up. On your inhale, drive the right knee into your chest, roll forward, and then open up. Take your variation of Vashisthasana. So you could have both feet to the mat here if that helps with stability. You could drop the left knee down, but either way, we're driving that right knee into our chest. Nice and active. See if you can just tap the right toes down behind you and bring it up. 1, tap, 2, tap, 3. Bring it back into the chest. Bend off, square off, come into downward facing dog. Inhale high into the ball of the toes. As you bend your knees, really tuck your tailbone and then roll through into high plank. Take a push up on the exhale. At any point, drop the knees if you want to. Then drop knees and forearms, come through Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Push back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Left leg goes nice and high here. Keep it active. High onto the ball of those right toes. Drive the left knee in. Then bend your right knee to spring you forward, left foot to that left thumb. Come high onto the fingertips and then plug the left thigh bone back. We go straight into those straighten and bends. Keep plugging the right toe back. We want to try to work this from the hips, from that right leg. We don't want the whole structure to be moving. Nice, keep going. Hopefully those legs are feeling turned on. Come to stillness. Lift the arms up. Plug that left thigh bone back. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, lean over that left leg. Bend it deeply. And then drive that right knee into the chest and drop the right foot. Nice. Inhale to halfway lift. If it wobbles, just laugh. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up. Reach the arms up. Drishti to the fingers. Exhale, hands through the center. Inhale, sweep up. Clasp that energy up above you. Exhale, pull it down. Nice. Come back into Tadasana one more time. So palms will turn out. Think about plugging in to the feet. So allowing the toes to be active, to lift through the inner arches, lift through the legs. The quads are engaged. The glutes are on. You're in a neutral pelvic position as much as you can be. So, think about where am I in space? Sometimes a mirror helps with this. And then try to come to neutral. Relax the shoulders down the back. Close the eyes if you'd like to. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale through your nose. Sigh it out. Inhale. Sigh it out. Inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands through the center line. The weight this time is in the left leg. Drive that right knee in, clasp hold of it. And again, you need to find that structure within the freedom here on this left leg. So straight away you might notice, okay, one leg felt more stable than the other. Make sure you've got a nice focused gaze, your drishti is fixed. And then when you feel like you've got some buoyancy, you've got some lift, stand up and out of that left leg, plug that left big toe into the mat, flex the right toe strongly, try to hold the right knee in as you reach the arms alongside the ears. Inhale here, kick away on the exhale, slowly start to let it come through like a pendulum, come into, oh hi Bells, come into warrior 3, straighten the leg, exhale, crouching warrior, inhale to lift, straighten the leg, exhale, crouching warrior, bend the left knee, inhale to lift, exhale, bend it, slowly, 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 the right toes will land, the hands will land, that left leg comes up, 3-leg dog, keep it lifted or drop it, roll forward into high plank, exhale, take the push-up, keep it lifted, keep that left leg high, then drive that left knee into your chest, roll onto the outer blade of the right foot. So take your option here, either you're going to be really keeping that knee in with the leg straight underneath you, or you're going to go down to the knee. You can be on the edge of the foot, you can do whatever here, be active in that left leg. Can you drop it behind you gently for 1? Bring it back in for 2. Bring it back in for 3. Bring it back in. Bend the right knee, close everything off. Downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale high onto the toes. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, push up. And Vinyasa, drop knees, drop forearms. Come through into up dog. Wave it back. Downward facing dog. Nice job. Nice. From this dog, the right leg will lift nice and high. Try to keep the right leg nice and straight here as you swing the right foot all the way to the outside of that right hand. From here, weight into the left foot, roll onto the outer blade of that left foot, come onto the outer blade of the right foot. Inhale, reach your arms up, or arm up for high horizon. And really try to scoop that left hip under you here. Exhale, see if you can sink the hips down a bit. Inhale, reach up and over, maybe the arm comes up and over to a diagonal. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, lower. From here, see if you can drop that left hip to the mat to allow you to just scoot yourself into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So I know you can't see me, but I've got my left knee bent, I've got my right knee bent on top of that. Try to ground here. And then from here, take your left hand out. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. Exhale, come back up. Inhale, left arm reaches long. Keep that right sit bone plugged in. Reach the right arm up. You can come down. We're just going to sway here. So if it feels good, you can come down onto that left forearm. Just make sure you don't lose the connection between the right thigh bone, the right sit bone and the mat. Last one here. Maybe we'll hold this one. Feel a stretch. And then come up. From here, we're going to have the sides of our feet really square into the mat. We're going to try and turn. Our body's going to turn to the right. So we're going to go around the right shoulder. Around the left shoulder, right shoulder coming around so that we can spin around into a wide leg forward fold. If you need to use the hands for this, that's cool, but I want you to try not to use the hands. I want you to make the movement come from the legs and from the hips. So you're going to plug the feet into the mat so that you can lift up and turn. And then from here you can wiggle the feet out, come into a wide leg forward fold. let the hands go down. We're going to do some active and passive stretching here. So we'll passively be here just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then inhale, come to a halfway lift. Here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold down, walk the feet a little bit wider. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, lift up. Use the strength of the inner groins, lifting through the arches of the feet to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower on 1 for 5, 4, walk the feet out just a little bit more to your max, 3, 2, 1, and then lift for 10, 9, keep plugging the thigh bones back behind you, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then lower down on 1. Come into this passive place. Notice if you can go a little bit deeper now that we've stretched it all out, actively and passively. Nice, and then from here, walk onto the hands, turn back to the top of the mat, and then take that right leg back to meet the left. Lift the left leg high, really engage through that left leg here, and then see if you can open that left hip to allow you, keeping everything as it is, to just gently plant the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Keep the weight into your right hand, turn onto the outer blade of both feet, all 10 toes turn to the left, scoop your right hip under you to reach up for high horizon. Move your feet if you need to, but we're going to lower and lift, lower and lift, and lower and lift. On your next one, you'll lower the right hip down, bend the right knee, and allow yourself to come into Gomukhasana. So you're going to wriggle yourself there. Trying not to use the hands here as much as you can to find the asana, because we want to move from the legs. We want the legs to do the work for the bulk of this. Find your place, find somewhere where you can really ground down into both sit bones. So if you need to come forward and just readjust and really sway around to find the position and then sit back, that's fine, but just be somewhere where both sit bones can be grounded. Right hand down, reach the left arm up and over, take an inhale. Exhale, open back up. Inhale, lift up and over. Exhale. And if the forearm feels far away and you've got a block, or the mat feels far away with the forearm, pop the block there, use that. Really push that left sit bone into the mat so you get the nice stretch along the left side. Keep the knees connected, so don't let them lift to make the movement happen. Nice. Come all the way up, move the block if you used it. So we're going to try that turn again without the hands. So you're going to come onto the outer blade of the feet. You really need to stand and turn. That one was less comfortable for me. And then walk the feet out to a good depth. Forward fold. Wide leg forward fold here. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, lift for 10. Keep plugging the thigh bones back and spread them wide. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down on 1, be passive. Take the feet wider for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down on 1 for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk the feet out as much as you can to feel stable for this last one. Lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then lower down on 1. Come into it passively. Find a good depth here for you. And then slowly walk the hands back to frame the front foot. Find your way back into downward facing dog. Nice. From here, bring your right knee into the chest, roll it forward, plant it halfway up the mat, and then bend your left knee, stack it behind. We'll come back into Gomukhasana one last time. So find your position, wriggle the feet as much as you need to. I'm actually going to just move across here for this. So if you've got something to the right of you, come across to the left side of your mat, because we're going to be twisting to the right. Okay, so stay here in your Gomukhasana. This is great, especially if you feel a lot in the hips here. Keep working through that. If you want to do the funky side crow from here, we can. So you're going to turn over this right leg and catch the back of the right leg onto the back of your left arm. Come up, so you lift your hips up, and then from here, we'll just lift the feet, coming into a funky Parsvabhakasana. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly come back down on 1. Nice work. Take an inhale upright. As you exhale, feel free to just walk the hands out. Be a bit more passive here. Keep pressing the thigh bones back, the sit bones down. Nice. And then roll over that left knee. Plant the left toes. Lift the left knee off the mat so that you can untuck the leg. And then from here, you're going to drop the left knee. We're just going to come back in a different way. Take the right foot behind. Sit back to Gomukhasana on the other side. And find your place here. So you might need to wiggle around to get something that feels like you can square off whilst keeping those knees stacked. Sit nice and tall here. Stay here, or we'll take that Parsvabhakasana option again. So you're going to lean over to your left and then allow your left leg to just come onto, hello Billy, the outside of that right arm. Make sure that the left arm is free of body parts. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower on 1. Come back down. Find Gomukhasana just for a moment. And then lift up, take the hands behind you, just so that you can uncross the legs, plant the feet, fingertips point back, inhale, lift up, come into reverse tabletop. Just for a moment, squeeze the glutes, feel active, but just allow everything to be unraveled. And then release the butt down. Scoot yourself forward so you can come onto your back. Nice. Feel free to rock from side to side on your back if that feels good. And then we'll just take a happy baby just to have one nice passive place to be. So drive your knees into your chest, arms along the inside, hands to the outside of the feet. And as always, I like to come up, really drive the knees into the armpit, and then come back to the mat. You can sway here if that feels good. You could extend one leg. Bring it back in. Extend the other. Bring it back in. Extend them both. If you've done that, release the legs. Bring them above you and come down into your Shavasana, your choice. Take the arms alongside you. Relax. Notice how the legs are feeling, the hips. Start to soften. Let everything go. Allow yourself to feel very heavy, no activation. Allow yourself to find some rest, some ease, some calm. After what can be challenging? What can be challenging? This is where we will leave you. As I say every time, if you have the time, then stay in your Shavasana for as long as is available. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Allow it to nourish you. Allow the practice to settle into you. And then allow it to just gently wash away from you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your practice today, Yogi. I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Thank you.